The 1911 is done. The cold bluing job on the 1911 is done. And I'm quite happy with it. It did turn out quite well. I've done bluing jobs that turned out much worse than this. It's very even. The color is even. There aren't any streaks in the surface. It's a nice, rich black color. And I like the shine that it has. So the added step that I took in my metal prep phase when I sanded it with 1500 grit sandpaper gave it a nice mirror finish. And then applying the cold bluing solution gives it a very shiny black, kind of classic gun look. A couple things to note. When you are applying the cold bluing solution, you swab it on, and then once the part is completely covered in the bluing solution, or at least all the parts that you want to blue, then you scald it. So what I did was, you can see behind me there, I have a saucepan up on top of the water cooler, and I boiled water, and I just dunked it in boiling water, and then you pull it out. The water evaporates off, and you will see a fine layer of rust forming on the surface. And then you use your steel wool, and you card that layer of rust off, and then you do it again. And the first time you do, the first application always looks terrible. It looks like absolute garbage. My gunsmithing mentor explained it like this. He said the first application is going to look like a cow pooped on it. And then the second time you do it, it's going to look like 2 cows pooped on it. And then the third time you do it, it's going to look not too bad. And you just keep going until you get the color that you want and there aren't any streaks in it. I can't tell you how many applications to do. That's going to depend on the specific metallurgy of your workpiece. It's going to depend on the color that you want to achieve and whether or not you're trying to cover up any streaks for mistakes that you made in your first 1 or 2 applications. So that's something you just pretty much have to do and play by eye as you see it. Once you have finished your bluing job and you've carded off your rust for the final time, it is very important to neutralize the bluing solution. Cold bluing solution is an acid, and it is an acidic reaction with the metal that causes the oxidation to form. So if you don't neutralize it, it will continue to oxidize, and then you're going to look at it in the morning and it's going to be rusty. Like rusty. And the other property of a cold bluing solution is that it is hygroscopic, which means that it will absorb moisture. So if you don't seal the surface of the bluing job, then what will happen is you'll put it away and then you'll come back to it in a few days and it's going to be rusty. So it's important to neutralize the bluing solution, neutralize the parts that you just blued, and then seal them. For neutralization, you can use a baking soda bath, which is what I did. I just dunked it in baking soda water solution, and that neutralized it, and then I carded off whatever residual layer of, it's like a powdery film that will form on the surface of the metal. Card that off, and then you will seal it with oil. And that's what you see these streaks are. These streaks here are not streaks in the bluing solution, in the bluing job I did. It's G96. And it's just so that the gun doesn't rust. Now, Caswell Canada does sell what they call a dry sealer. So it seals the workpiece without having an oily feel to it. And I dug into that stuff a bit and did a little bit of research, and I found out it's really just acrylic enamel paint. It's satin or gloss acrylic enamel paint. I discussed that option with the customer, and he didn't feel that was really necessary. It's not a heavy use firearm. He's not shooting it out of the holster. It's not being ridden hard, so he didn't feel that there was any need to take that extra step. So I just sealed it with oil, in this case G96, and tomorrow I'm off to take it back to him. If you have any questions, you can catch up with me on Facebook, 88 Echo 3, 88E3 Gunsmithing. You can pose them here if you want. You can email them to me. It's 88 Echo 3 Gunsmithing at email.com, and I'll see what I can do for you.